Horses are strong, beautiful animals with a spirit that's hard to forget. But not every horse lives free. In a quiet part of Romania, one wild horse lay trapped, chained, and helpless. That's when a man on a peaceful walk spotted it. What followed wasn't just a rescue, it was a powerful moment of trust and thanks that would stay with him forever. This is the true story of how one act of kindness changed everything. Chapter 1. A Walk in Nature. It all began when a man decided to take a break from his busy life and explore the peaceful hills of Romania. With its green valleys, rolling hills, and fresh air, Romania is a perfect place to connect with nature. This man, a vet by profession and an animal lover by heart, had no idea that his walk that day would turn into a rescue mission he'd never forget. As he wandered further into the countryside, he began to hear the distant sound of hooves beating against the ground. The rhythmic thumping got louder, filling him with excitement. Could it be wild horses? He kept walking, scanning the fields with hope. Then something unusual caught his eye. Through the tall grass, barely visible, was a dark shape lying still. It didn't look like a rock or a bush. It looked alive.
Magnificent creatures frequently fall victim to snares set by humans. In one instance, a man stumbled upon a horse ensnared in such a trap. And what unfolded next?
Chapter 2. A shocking discovery. Curious and cautious, he moved closer. As he approached, the full picture came into view, and it was heartbreaking. Lying helplessly on the ground was a beautiful wild horse. Its coat was deep brown, shiny even under the sun, and its long black mane flowed like silk. It was one of the most stunning animals he had ever seen. But something was terribly wrong. The horse was breathing hard and looked anxious. Its large eyes were filled with fear and pain. As the man got closer, he noticed the animal's legs were stuck. Chains were wrapped tightly around them, holding the horse to the spot. Every time the poor horse tried to move, the metal clanked and dug deeper into its skin. This wasn't an accident. Someone had put those chains there. In some rural parts of the country, it's sadly common for people to use chains or traps to keep horses from wandering too far. It's a cruel practice that causes pain and suffering, and this horse was one of its many silent victims. Chapter 3. A vet steps in. The man felt a rush of emotion, anger, sadness, and a strong urge to help. Being a vet, he had treated many animals in pain before, but this was different. This horse was wild, not used to humans. One wrong move and it could react out of fear, but the man trusted his instincts. He slowly pulled out a small knife from his bag, always prepared for emergencies like this. Gently, he moved toward the horse, speaking in a calm voice, hoping to show he meant no harm. The horse flinched a little at first, but then something incredible happened. It relaxed, as if it knew this stranger had come to help. The man examined the chains and realized just how long the horse must have been trapped. The skin around the metal was raw and wounded. One chain had even started to grow into the horse's leg. It was horrifying. Chapter 4. A Painful Process.
Work. The vet started with a first set of chains around the front hooves of the horse. He could see that the chains had been there for days and started to rip into the horse's skin. He began to loosen the chains enough so he could slip his wire cutter between the clasps and began to cut.
Bit by bit, the man started cutting through the chains. It was slow work. The metal was thick and he didn't want to hurt the horse any more than it already was. As he kept working, something from his past came back to him, something he had learned during his training as a vet. He remembered that horses, like people, can take certain kinds of medicine to help with pain. One of those was paracetamol, a simple painkiller that could ease some of the horse's suffering. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a small packet. Inside were 2 paracetamol tablets. He looked around and found an apple he had packed earlier for a snack. Gently, he pressed the tablets into the soft part of the fruit, hoping the horse would eat it without any trouble. Then, holding the apple in his hand, he slowly brought it close to the horse's mouth. The horse sniffed it for a few seconds, then took a small bite. Moments later, it ate the whole apple. The man smiled. "That should help a little," he whispered. Chapter 5. The chains come off. It took more than 30 minutes to remove all the chains. The hardest one was the one embedded in the leg. The horse groaned a little but didn't fight back. It stayed still, trusting the man completely. Once the final chain was off, the man carefully poured water over the wounds to clean them. He used cloth from his bag to gently wipe away the dirt and blood. The cuts were deep, but thankfully, they didn't look infected. The horse lay quietly, breathing easier now. It was free. For the first time in days, maybe even weeks, it could move without pain, holding it back. Chapter 6. A powerful moment of gratitude. Then something unexpected happened, something that made the man freeze. The horse slowly got up, shaky at first, testing its legs. It stood tall and strong, its mane blowing in the soft breeze. The man took a step back, unsure of what the horse would do next. And then, the horse turned to face him. It walked slowly over, lowered its head, and gently pressed its face against his cheek. It was a soft nuzzle, full of warmth, not fear, not aggression, just pure, silent gratitude. Tears welled up in the man's eyes. He had helped many animals before, but none had ever thanked him like this. Suddenly, the horse stepped back, lifted its front legs into the air, and let out a loud, joyful neigh. The sound echoed across the hills. It was a moment of freedom, of celebration. Then, with one last glance at the man, the horse began to walk away. It picked up speed, trotting at first, then galloping full force into the open fields. The man watched until it vanished into the distance, likely heading back to its herd. Chapter 7. A memory forever etched in his heart. The man stood frozen for a while, trying to take in what had just happened. It all felt like a dream, too special, too emotional to be real. But the red marks on his hands from the rough chains and the warm feeling still left on his cheek where the horse had gently touched him reminded him it truly had happened. He had done something that mattered. He had saved a life, and in return he was given something rare, a quiet, powerful thank you from an animal that couldn't speak, but somehow said more than any words ever could. As he walked slowly back across the fields, his eyes kept glancing behind him. A part of him hoped to see the horse again, maybe standing there in the distance. But the meadow was empty. The horse was gone, running free, just as it was meant to be. That day stayed in his heart forever. Every time he saw a picture of a horse or stepped into the countryside and felt the wind on his face, the memory would come back. He would remember the pain in the animal's eyes, the struggle to break the chains, the effort it took to help, and that incredible moment of connection when two living beings understood each other without saying a single word. Chapter 8. A bigger picture. This story isn't just about one horse, it's about all the animals that suffer because of careless or cruel human actions. It's about the bond between humans and animals, a bond that can be so deep, so real, that it changes both lives forever. There are still many horses out there who need help. Still many places where old and harmful practices continue. But stories like this give us hope. Hope that more people will choose kindness over cruelty, that more people will stop to help when they see suffering. One person can make a huge difference. One moment of compassion can save a life. So the next time you're out in nature, take a moment to really look around. Listen. You never know when a soul in need might cross your path. And when it does, how you respond could be remembered forever, just like this man's act of bravery and kindness. Did this story move you as much as it moved us? What would you have done in that situation? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring true stories from around the world. Thanks for watching. And remember, kindness can echo across fields, through forests, and even deep into the heart of a wild animal.